Hi, my gardening angels. Welcome back to my channel. I am Jess if you're new here, and thanks for joining me today. So I am doing something pretty different from what I normally do. So if you are new to my channel, you wouldn't know this, but I normally talk about succulents and growing succulents and different propagation tips and stuff like that. But I really do enjoy gardening in every aspect. So this year I am making a garden journal for one of our bigger vegetable gardens. It is a 90 by 36 square foot garden. It's just a bunch of tilled up dirt, and we like to plant up as much stuff in there as we can. And we have a family of 8, so this is at my parents' house, but we have a family of 8, and our goal each year is to just be able to provide enough food for all of us to really enjoy it and get some fresh produce. So I wanted to keep track of the garden this year so we can really see what's working well, what isn't. We also have chickens and bees on the property, so I just want to kind of keep track of everything that's kind of going on each year, and it'll be fun to see what how things change, I guess, throughout the years with this garden. Full disclosure, I have never bullet journaled before, but I thought it would be something really fun to do for our garden journal because I just think they're always very beautiful and organized, and I thought that'd be a perfect way to kick off our garden journal plans. So I really wanted to keep it simple, but make it something that was very functional for us to follow along with and just kind of check off boxes or enter in our data as we go along. So that's kind of the setup I'm doing today. I will be probably adding more pages to this, and I won't probably video them, but at the end of the year I do want to do a little recap with you and kind of show you what we've ended up putting in our garden journal, what worked well for us, what didn't, and then I think I'll be able to show you guys our next year one as well, with some of the improvements. If you guys have any ideas of what we should keep track of, or that you would like to see us keep track of, definitely leave it down in the comments below because I will definitely take that into consideration. So this page is just our title page. I wanted to kind of do a little lavender theme. We're going to be planting a lot of lavender in the garden this year around the house, and so I thought that would just be kind of a perfect little fit for this year's garden. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay, so I kind of just want to explain each page just in a little bit more detail for you guys. I'm sorry that this footage is really grainy. I don't understand why, but anyways, I'll kind of just explain what's going on. So that little box I just drew is our honey hive in relation to the vegetable garden. So the rectangle itself is the 90 by 36 square foot garden, and then that half circle on the end is actually going to be a flower bed. So in the flower bed, we're going to be planting sunflowers towards the back. We also have a gate in the upper right hand corner, but it'll be sunflowers, purple delphiniums, and then purple zinnias, and those are going to be kind of to attract the bees to the garden. And then I wrote down the produce that we're actually going to be planting and in where. So those little arches that you see throughout the garden are actually going to be garden arches that we're planting up. We thought it'd be fun to kind of throw a few of those in the garden, just kind of give us a little bit more walking space and just kind of add a little bit more fun elements to it, I guess. But that's kind of that. We laid out the garden plans and then I just kind of copied them on here. The garden is going to be split down the middle. We have a hail net that we put on our garden, and so those stakes go down the middle of the garden, and that's why that line's kind of drawn down there. So on the property, we also have a 12 by 18 square foot greenhouse, and so that's kind of what I'm going to be laying out here. We're unsure of what we want to plant in the raised beds around the outside, but in the middle we have about a 4 foot by, I don't know, 8 foot raised planter, and so we have put strawberries in there, and those are kind of like our contained strawberry patches, I guess. But otherwise, around the outside, we probably will plant maybe peppers or some more tomatoes, depending on kind of what we're feeling and have extra of planted, and already growing, I guess. But I will be making note of that on that page as well, of what we end up planting there as the time comes. But I just kind of wanted to make sure we have it set up for that. And then again, just drawing some lavender here. We also have a little herb box that has herbs planted in it that keep coming up each year, so we don't really ever plant that one back up. It just kind of grows on its own, but I just wanted to kind of draw it in since we have it. And then one thing that I think would be very helpful for our little garden to keep track of is the honey hive itself, because we're having issues, and I know a lot of people who have bees in our area are having the same issue, where each winter our hive dies, or like our bee colony has been dying during the harsh winter. So we have to keep ordering bees each year, and we're hoping one of these years they don't die and that we fix the problem. But the issue is, we've talked to a lot of people, and there's not necessarily a big or true answer to the problem. So I wanted to kind of keep track of what kind of bees we get, because every year we kind of get a different kind of bee. I think we've got an Italian and we've got Russian. And then I want to keep track of how much honey we harvest at the end of the year. We haven't been able to harvest any for the last 3 years because we keep getting new bees, and we want them to have the best chance of it at surviving as they can, so we just haven't taken their honey away yet. But yeah, I'm really excited to see kind of how they do this year with some changes that we're making. So next we have the ladybirds page, which is our chickens, and I wanted to make a list of the chickens, and then I also wanted to kind of keep track of how many eggs our chickens are laying throughout the year. And we haven't been keeping track of this in the earlier months of the winter, or I guess before this. So I'm starting the calendar at May, and I'm hoping that throughout the rest of the summer and spring and fall and winter we can kind of keep track of how many eggs we harvest each day. I think right now during the winter we were averaging 4. We have 12 chickens, and then during the spring and summer we get about 10 to 12. I think they're starting to increase. I think we're at around 8 right now. So I kind of wanted to see how many eggs we got for the number of chickens that we have, make any notes of what we see, and then kind of have a running total of the eggs from each year. I think that'll be kind of interesting to keep track of, just because we do put a lot of time and effort into the chickens. Alright, so in this next section, I really wanted to get a running list of what the current grocery store prices for the produce that we're growing are this year. So that's going to be kind of at the end of it. I need to do more research, and I will be putting those in there. But I really want us to have kind of a number to how much produce we get, and I think the best way to do that will be to compare how much you would pay for the same produce in the store and how much money we really saved by growing it in our own garden during the year. But all in all, I really like how this journal turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed our video. So if you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the updated version. See ya.